hopefully I'm right in saying I can, count on him as a friend. And certainly a very senior devotee, senior to me. Right. But let me just, by way of introduction for Krishna Govinda Prabhu, actually Krishna Govinda came in contact with Krishna consciousness or ISKCON, well, some decades ago, actually. Originally, he hails from Kenya, right? And his parents from a pious religious background. And first came to Bhaktisiddhanta Manor in 1974, I believe. And between 75 and 77, actually had the privilege, mercy of meeting Srila Prabhupada. And then has been actively involved through the following decades of the 70s, 80s, and 90s at the manor, in the form of either part of the Sunday school, which is still going on, the Mahabharat Youth Club, which is what it was known then, which then became, I think, the Youth Forum, and then now the Pandavasena. It's gone through various evolutions. I then met Guru Maharaj in 1994 for the first time at Durban Rath Yatra. So that's quite an event in itself, right? And then 1996, on auspicious occasion of his marriage, Guru Maharaj attended his marriage with Shyam Priya in Mumbai, India. And then I think that's when Guru Maharaj first asked Krishna Govinda Prabhu to get involved in Abhay Charan series, because as we'll see, no doubt, Krishna Govinda Prabhu has a background in an expertise in video editing, right, and filming, right. And he first got initiated in 2003, and then took second initiation in 2010. And he's been assisting, as I mentioned, Guru Maharaj's various projects, namely Abhay Charan, and recording and making videos of Guru Maharaj's classes. I mean, I'm sure many of you would have seen on YouTube some of the retreats that we've had in Croatia, namely. Most of those videos are down to, we can thank Krishna Govinda Prabhu for those, right? And then, of course, his family would also regularly attend the European retreats and the India pilgrimage retreats, in fact. And his main service at either Radhalaneshwara and Bhaktisiddhanta Manor is he renders wonderful Pachari service. So it's a great sort of privilege to be able to do that. And he also helps out on book distribution as well. So without further ado, and my apologies to Krishna Govinda Prabhu for slight delay, I will hand over to Krishna Govinda, who will, well, share even more nectar for you all. So I'm certainly very much looking forward to that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Gaur Hari Prabhu. Just wanted to check you can hear me all right?
Yes, that's fine. That's wonderful.
Good. Thank you. And also, kindly see the blessings of all the devotees who are listening, who've taken time to participate in this regular memorial programs, remembering Guru Maharaj. And also I wanted to thank all the, well, of course, thanks Srila Prabhupada as well for allowing me to be part of the family of ISKCON, and to dearest Guru Maharaj as well for allowing me to be his disciple. I will be sharing some photographs later on, so just before I do that, I'll just offer my prayers, my invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Namane Snigdha Jaita Sapranita Bhagmi Mahachara Sapatam Prabhupada Gata Prani Nami Bhakti Charupadam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyata Desitarine Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramatamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Ishtapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapatatikam Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyayascha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So once again, thank you so much for allowing me to speak as well. Hopefully, some of the memories I have of Guru Maharaj will also not just my own personal memories, but also some of the observations I've had, see with Guru Maharaj, my interaction with him, his interaction with the other disciples, his godbrothers as well. So, Guru Hari Prabhu, please let me know when time's up so I don't go over time. So, Guru Hari Prabhu gave a brief introduction about
We'll
myself.
be
I was going to
flexible on this occasion.
mention the brief
We'll
introduction,
be,
but what I'll do, if it's okay, I'll skip to the actual time when I first met Guru Maharaj itself. So before I do that, can I just see if I could share this with you, Guru Hari Prabhu?
yeah, sure, please. Please carry on.
Okay, can you see that okay? The picture of Guru Maharaj?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, great. So I was born in 1964. I was born in Kenya, Nairobi, and although we were from a religious family, my mother and father were very devoted to the worship of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, Durga Devi. In the early days, I didn't really quite understand about this religion, but I was quite mesmerized by all the beautiful pictures of Lord Ramachandra, Hanuman, Krishna, Shiva. You know, we had a normal Hindu sort of altar with lots and lots of pictures everywhere. But it wasn't until Bhaktivedanta Mana I got really attracted to understand who Krishna was. When I first saw the lordships, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, I was so mesmerized the way they were beautifully dressed, the way they were decorated, the way the devotees used to take care of them. I was only like 8 or 9 years old at that time. I was very attracted to the devotees, their sort of humble spirit, their compassion, their devotion, attracted to the Goshala, and the way they were taking care of the cows. And in my early days, when I used to have school holidays, to spend a lot of time at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. Of course, in those days, there wasn't so much child protection restriction. Of course, we learn a lot of things as we go along, not only in the Hare Krishna temple, but also outside. But the devotees were so nice and friendly, caring. If there was any prasadam, they will make arrangements for you to have prasadam. So I first went to Bhaktivedanta Manor in 1974 and Murray Place as well. And when I first met Srila Prabhupada in 1975, I was about 10 years old. I was happy to be staying at the temple because the devotees invited us at the temple. So we stayed there for 2 or 3 days while Prabhupada was giving classes in the temple room. But at that time, I wasn't so much into the philosophy, but I was more into play with the other the children of the devotee families. But in 1977, we happened to be staying there at Bhaktivedanta Manor, also myself, my older brother, Jai Krishna Prabhu, my younger brother. And it just so happened the temple president, Vichitra Virya Prabhu, mentioned that Srila Prabhupada was coming to the temple, and this was actually the last time Srila Prabhupada visited the UK. He was planning to go to UK, to America, but because of his poor health, he only stayed at Bhaktivedanta Manor for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks or 3 weeks. And that was the time when Srila Prabhupada spent his last Vyasa Puja, his last Janmashtami in 1977. So we were really fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada. So my sort of first sort of going back to 1977. So if you read Guru Maharaj's Ocean of Mercy, he mentions how he was looking and taking care of Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan at that time. Then, of course, there was that desire to go to the UK, and many devotees were against that because of his frail condition. He was very frail. Even when we saw him at Bhaktivedanta Manor, he was unable to speak, unable to walk. He had to be carried in a palanquin. There had to be completely zero sort of noise level. Even the kirtans, we couldn't clap hands or play cartels. We had to be very quiet. And if you read Ocean of Mercy, Guru Maharaj was very, very upset that he didn't have a visa to come to the UK. This is 1977, and he was lamenting, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj was trying to comfort him and say, "Don't worry, you know." And if he had come, I would have met Guru Maharaj in 1977, and his physical appearance would have been easily been noticeable, because if you see the final lesson, Guru Maharaj has actually given the last cup of water to Srila Prabhupada as he's lying on the bed. And that picture always, that video always, felt so much attraction. This particular devotee is given Prabhupada this last remnants of water, to keep him going the last few moments, last few hours of his life, Srila Prabhupada. So that if Guru Maharaj had come in 1977, that would have been the first time I would have met him, but unfortunately he couldn't come. So now, this is the during the time I was part of the Maharaj Youth Club, the Pandavasena Youth Club, Mana Youth Forum. This is the Pandavasenas in 1996. And Guru Maharaj was very, very much involved with the Pandavasena. The mission was to actually save the temple from closing due to the locals' concern about too much people. Sorry, just 1 minute. Sorry, there's an airfield nearby and all the flying planes go over by. So Guru Maharaj was very much involved in keeping the Pandavasena very spiritually inclined. And he used to attend many of the programs, the Pandavasena programs, university programs. We used to organize weekly jamming programs as well, where Guru Maharaj participated so many times, encouraging the youth to continue with their service in Krishna consciousness, but at the same time get good education. And many of the earlier youths, they actually got initiated by Guru Maharaj as well. I mean, Krishna Prabhu, Dina Krishna Prabhu, myself, and many other devotees, also youngsters, got initiated by Radhanath Swami and Sri Ram Swami as well. Now, one of the wonderful things that Guru Maharaj loved was kirtan within Pandavasena, and of course, any kirtan program. And he used to enjoy singing. And I don't know if some of you may have remembered, after the actual campaign was won to keep Bhaktivedanta Mana open, there was kirtans galore every day and every evening. And Guru Maharaj would sing continuously, how much energy he had. It was amazing. And I would pass a mic to every single devotee so they could sing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is one of the jamming programs we used to organize. Jamming program was a fortnightly program, started off in Hara by myself and another friend of mine, Devish. We organized for regular speakers to come on a fortnightly basis, talk about Krishna conscious topics, have kirtan, have prasadam. And that way we encouraged a lot of youngsters to participate. Guru Maharaj was also participated in many of the festivals we had with Pandavasena. And primarily was the New Year's evening program where the Pandavasenas hosted a huge event, dramatization, stories of Srila Prabhupada, other sort of devotees singing Jayadev Prabhu, Jagannath Sutta Prabhu, and also, of course, prasadam was served to every devotee who came. Of course, as it was a New Year's Eve program, it would start about 7 o'clock in the evening and go until about the following day, till 1 o'clock in the morning, New Year's Day. This is Radha Vinod Prabhu with Guru Maharaj. Radha Vinod Prabhu was very, very instrumental in many of the young disciples or devotees, well-wishers who got sort of got the mercy of Guru Maharaj because Radha Vinod Prabhu used to organize a lot of the retreats, European retreats, a lot of the programs, house programs. And we're very grateful for Radha Vinod Prabhu. As many of you know, his health isn't very well at the moment. He's actually in India right now in Belgaum, going through some physiotherapy and some medication to improve his well-being. So please keep Radha Vinod Prabhu in your prayers. It's been so instrumental to many of us. I went asked to serve Guru Maharaj, and also Harivamsa Prabhu as well. So Guru Maharaj used to be involved with many programs, used to perform yagyas, which we all participated in, encourage us to take our vows again on reinitiation as well. So we always remain truthful. He'd always be involved with all the programs, the temple programs. And, sometimes what used to happen, many visiting sannyasis or spiritual leaders used to come, but would never see him. But Guru Maharaj was there for the morning programs, doing Guru Puja, giving morning classes. Here you can see him participating in the kirtans, Bhaktivedanta Mana, just behind Guru Guru Maharaj is also Shuti Dharma Prabhu, who unfortunately left in 2020. And he was so instrumental too to Pandavasena in the early days and Mana Youth Forum before that. And we actually grew up together in part of the earlier group, which was the Mahabharat Youth Club. And we certainly miss him so much. So do keep Shruti Dharma Prabhu in his prayers. He was the temple president of Bhaktivedanta Manor for many years and also a well-wisher to many devotees. One of the retreats that we used to organize, Krishna Purna Mataji, Harivamsa Prabhu, many of the senior devotees, Radha Vinod Prabhu, Gaurari Prabhu, was the Buckland Hall retreat. Buckland Hall was a beautiful mansion in South Wales, and it was hosted normally during Easter time over the 4-day Easter break in a series of seminars on Krishna conscious topics. So many wonderful devotees in it. Sorry. So His Holiness Shiva Maharaj was there, His Holiness Radhanath Swami was there, His Holiness Chandramouli Swami was there. So we had such a vibrant sort of environment, temple sort of environment, where we could just be away from everywhere else in the countryside with our morning program, morning classes, have prasadam together, and then also have lunchtime talks, and then evening prasadam, then followed by kirtan. And that was so amazing because many of us weren't initiated in those early days. And the blessings of Radhanath Swami, His Holiness Shiram Swami, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj allowed us to be connected to the spiritual connection of the parampara of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. And we were so fortunate that Guru Maharaj would spend a lot of time. And one time I do remember Buckland Hall, he was so poorly, so poorly. But yet every morning, lunchtime and evening, he would give class. It would also take time to speak to the devotees, the well-wishers who wanted to speak to him. And I do feel bad now in hindsight because when we did get a chance to see him, our family, we didn't really appreciate his condition because at the moment there was a bug that was going around and he caught it quite seriously and he was actually in his bed with the blanket over him, but yet he was still speaking to us. At that time, I wasn't personally initiated. I was really attracted to Guru Maharaj. When I first met him in 1995 in Durban, we were invited by His Holiness Indra Yumna Maharaj to do some dramas on behalf of Bhaktivedanta players. And what had happened in the early days, I was actually very fond of the early spiritual master who, after Srila Prabhupada left, there was 11 gurus, Jayatita Prabhu. And I was going to get initiated by him, Jayatita Prabhu, when I was 16. But unfortunately, the circumstances were that Maya had taken him away. And then Bhagavan Maharaj came and he was taken away as well. And there was this real emptiness in my spiritual life. And, I stayed away from the temple for a couple of years. I didn't really understand because they were pure devotees and we used to, worship them with awe and reverence. And I think that's where we went wrong because we sort of put them on the same pedestal as Srila Prabhupada. And this is the thing which Guru Maharaj, he would always think that to put Srila Prabhupada as the topmost personality within ISKCON, we're just like puppets. He's actually taken us towards Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. Never wanted that sort of fame or fortune. Even on his Vyasa Puja Day, 17th of September, he would say, this is a celebration of Srila Prabhupada's Remembrance Day. When he came to the West, he came and preached about Christian consciousness to all the Westerners, and that's how ISKCON was established. So he takes away the glorification of himself and passes it on to his own spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So what had happened, many devotees, my friends who were bhaktas at that time, were getting initiated. And Nila Madhava Prabhu, Vimal Krishna Prabhu, Devaki Nandan. And I asked them, who you can initiated by? And they mentioned His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. And I'd never heard of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami at that time. This is in the early 90s. But he must have been a very important person because 3 of my best friends got initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. So I was very interested, and Devaki Nandan Maharaj Prabhu showed me a picture of Guru Maharaj. It was basically one of the booklets from the Vaishnavas, the poets of Vaishnava songs. And then I said, oh, that's strange. I haven't seen this Maharaj. I've heard of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, heard of Navek Yogendra Maharaj, who was very instrumental as well. Just in the early 90s, used to come regularly, encourage everyone in Krishna consciousness with spiritual programs. So it's just unfortunate I didn't know him. And then, but also I wasn't so much interested in having a spiritual master, having Jaitirtha left, having Bhagavan left. But in 1994, when I was in Durban, I was just going from the hotel where the devotees were staying to the beachfront where the Rath Yatra cart was. And I was on my own walking down the street to the beachfront, and Guru Maharaj was there with 10 of his disciples. And I offered my obeisances on the street. And he acknowledged me and offered his respects to me by folding his hands. And I was so touched by that small gesture. I know this is very selfish of me to say, because when you do offer your obeisances, you're offering it to the super soul within the heart of that personality, whether it's a devotee or non-devotee. But many times it doesn't get acknowledged. But when Guru Maharaj smiled and acknowledged me, I said, oh, was it me he acknowledged, or was it somebody behind me? And then I got to know him later on. And in 1996, I sent a message to him. I mean, prior to that, I met him a couple of times, briefly through Padavasena programs. And in 1996, I was about to get married to Prabhupada's sister, Shampriya Mataji, Shampriya Devi, sorry. And I asked for his blessings. I'm going to get married to this devotee from Mumbai. She's a disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And he so happened to be in Mumbai at that time at Chewy Temple where I was staying. And I said, oh, so nice. So he asked me to come and see him. And he was so much favorable and gave me his blessings. And he even attended the wedding, which was so mesmerizing. And when he came for the wedding, as you know, Indian weddings go on for such a long time, you wouldn't expect a sannyasi to come for the whole of the wedding. So it happened when the priest was actually offered them Mangal Sutra, the groom passes it to the bride. That's the exact moment when Guru Maharaj had come. He had come with Srila Maharaj, Nishimananda Prabhu is a Srila Prabhupada disciple. And we were so blessed at that right moment. They had come, and with their auspicious personality that come at the right time to give their blessings to myself and my wife Shampi and our families who attended as well in Mumbai. So we were very blessed. And also Vishnu Swami, the Indian bodied, as we call him sometimes, he happened to be there as well, and we were able to wash his lotus feet as well. So I was very, very touched by that Guru Maharaj had spent his busy schedule to come to the weddings, because I know, not everybody loves going to weddings, because of course you have to be there for the camera people to have a look at the camera. So I raised this with Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj was having a look at the camera, and he was asking many technical points about the camera, because he wanted to get some more robust and very simple cameras for his Abhay Charan series as well. So it so happened we managed to acquire these cameras from Kaushik Bhai, who has a shop in Tottenham Court Road, a prestigious place, Tottenham Court Road in the city of London. And we acquired 2 or 3 of these cameras. They're very expensive, about £2,000 or £3,000, and then including other equipment as well, like the microphone and Sennheiser wireless cordless mics. So what had happened? He practically just got the cameras, and he got the new Sennheiser wireless microphones. And that evening, he was going to do a program at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And he phoned me up and said, "Okay, look, I got these cameras, so can you set it up and we can do the recording and test them out?" And I tell you, I was panicking so much, because these were brand new cameras, £3,000 or so, and wireless Sennheiser microphones I'd never used. I didn't know how to operate them. And I was so nervous with brand new tripods and everything. And the batteries hadn't been charged or nothing at all. So I quickly had it set up, came early, had everything set up, put the Vyasa in a certain way so there's nobody coming behind the Vyasa to distract the footage. But I was still panicking because I didn't know how to set up the Sennheiser mics. But luckily there was a devotee from South Africa I knew, he was a video person as well, and he knew about this microphones, and luckily I managed to put the actual the microphone unit on Guru Maharaj properly, and the other receiving end on the actual camera itself. The recording came out good, luckily, thanks to Guru Maharaj's mercy. Everything worked out really well. Because as you know, many of you have had experience that when you do something, you want everything first class. Guru Maharaj tells you to do it first class. If it's for Srila Prabhupada, if it's for the lordships, if it's for the devotees, you have to do it first class. So what I do want to do is budget up on that day, you know. Sorry, just go to the next slide. So this is a beautiful walk Guru Maharaj had with the devotees, with the young children in Buckland Home. One thing I just wanted to mention, within ISKCON we have so many wonderful Maharajas, sannyasis.
I don't think you're
When it
hearing
comes,
it.
are
I
you
don't
not
think
hearing me?
you're not sharing the video, the picture.
Oh, it's not been shared? Okay, let me just stop sharing.
Or I can't see it, I should say. Maybe.
Okay, let me just share it again.
Yeah, that's good.
Can you see?
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully everybody, all the devotees can see that.
And I'll just quickly say a few words. So I mentioned about Guru Maharaj. We have so many wonderful Maharajas, but when it comes to children, they keep their distance. But one thing I learned about, Guru Maharaj, Shivarama Swami, and Dryumna Swami, they have so much affection for children. They know that they're going to be the legacy of ISKCON. They're going to be the next devotees who are going to take over. Guru Maharaj would spend a lot of time with the young children. He would arrange birthdays, presents, gifts for the young children. We were just about to do a special a video session just for the children alone, where they were reciting the prayers from Bhagavad Gita 2:13, Dehi nos minyata dehi. And, Guru Maharaj had so much affection, and he'd always ask about their well-being. What are you up to? And even you can ask Yadurani how difficult it is raising children. And, you see Raghav, how he's blossomed so much as Rasaraj Prabhu now, Rasaraj Krishna Prabhu, and he's transformed so much. He's actually dedicated his life serving Guru Maharaj's mission. And I really hope that, many of our prayers, we all pray for that, for our own children. Prahlad, my son, he's on the right-hand side. You have the picture. And Radhika, she was just a baby, 1 year old at that time. And here she is. Here, Guru Maharaj is just holding her. She's trying to run away. But Guru Maharaj would, he didn't mind being photographed with the children. It was so nice, This is one of my favorite shots of Guru Maharaj. He looks so amazingly peaceful, calm, just before morning class at Buckland Hall Retreat. I can't remember the year. It may have been 2004. This Radhika must have been just 1 year old then. So this is 2012. Those who are really fortunate to come on this spiritual cruise. It was organized by Radha Vinod Prabhu, Guru Hari Prabhu, and many devotees, and Ananta Vijay Prabhu and his wife Leela Vilasani. They arranged this, must have been about 200 devotees. Yeah, 200 devotees who travels, set sail from Southampton in America, in UK, sorry, not America, UK, went on to Holland, went on to France, went on to Spain. We had such a great, amazing retreat, for 10 days, 7 to 10 days. We were just on the cruise, and every day, this is Guru Maharaj. Oh, actually, it was Bhakti Charu Swami. Guru Maharaj was there. His Holiness Radhanath Swami was there. Sajjananda Maharaj was there. His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj was there. Chandramouli Maharaj was there. We were so fortunate. We had 200 devotees from all around the world who participated in this spiritual cruise. And we would travel from one city or one country to another country where we perform Harinams in different places as well. You can see here we're actually in a place called, okay, I think it's Santiago Compostela. Okay, Santiago de Compostela. So in the the program. This is Santiago de Compostela, so you can see the Harinam. In fact, there were some devotees, a TV production crew who happened to be there. Guru Maharaj gave a nice introduction about Krishna consciousness and why we're here, what our mission is, on the Harinam as well. These were really beautiful Harinams, so everybody had to sort of get off board of the ship and participate in the Harinams. These were going through the local town centers by the beachfront area. Satchidananda Maharaj was singing away so much as well. I believe this is by the beach. We'd do the Harinam along the beach side and everybody would participate. So within the program itself, we would actually host a program in the morning, a morning program where we would attend like Mangalarti, attend like Guru Puja, morning classes, then we'd have Prashadam, then we'd have another class again, then in lunchtime Prashadam, and then again we would have an opportunity to go and visit to a country nearby. Of course, it's only in the coastal area because of the facilities of providing for 200 devotees wasn't easy, hiring 4 coaches. So you can see lots of kirtans going on every evening till late in the night as well. A lot of devotees really enjoyed this. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Mother Malati. She's just on the left. She also attended. You heard about Prabhu. He's sitting between His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, Guru Maharaj, and Chandramouli Swami. And they also attended and participated as well. And many of us who actually went on this cruise will know that it was like an opportunity of a lifetime. Such a wonderful effect. So Ganama Kanana Swami joined us in Holland. As you know, his health isn't so well, so do please pray for his well-being. Next week, he's given initiation to our dear friend and long-term resident devotee, Sutapa Prabhu. So that's on 26th of June. If you're in the UK, please do come along from morning program onwards. It's going to be a huge event. I understand there's coaches coming from Birmingham, Leicester, all parts of the UK. So here, we'd have Prashadam. This was actually cooked, nicely cooked by Chapaglata Devi, Radhika Priya Mataji, and a few devotees as well. To make sure that the Prashadam was cooked separately, it wasn't cooked by the cooks of the cruise itself. The food was offered. The food was then served to all the devotees in a proper way, served on dinner and table, so they could have as much as we want. Many of us put on 2 or 3 stones because we put on so much prashadam. But the wonderful thing about Guru Maharaj, you would go to each table and speak to them. How are you? How's your accommodation? How's the prashadam? And he would take time and out of his way to speak to everybody, make sure that they were taken care of. One thing I did notice about Guru Maharaj, if the disciples or any of the attendees weren't happy with it, he would really make sure that rearrangements were made so they were happy. And many times I do remember in Leicester, we had a retreat where devotees who were staying in accommodation so far away, they weren't happy and they voiced their concern to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj had to sort of make arrangements to satisfy us. It's unfortunate that Guru Maharaj had to go out of his way. There was another incident which I'll explain later on. I'm just conscious about the time as well. Here, this is May 2015. Guru Maharaj had phoned me up to say that he wanted to do some videos for TV production in India in Hindi. So I said, yes, Guru Maharaj, of course. So I arranged for the equipment, camera system, and so forth, and I showed Guru Maharaj some of the places that we could take shoots. This is actually Srila Prabhupada's garden memorial in Bhaktivedanta Manor. And it so happened in May, the rhododendrons, they blossom so beautifully. It's a whole load of trees of rhododendrons, and they have different colors, and they just grow so beautifully. So once I took a few shots, I showed the sample to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj was so compassionate because I had only one set of headphones, and they were inside my ears. Of course, it's not so hygienic to give it to somebody else. Every time I used that, I'd wash it off my dhoti. But Guru Maharaj would say, "Oh, don't worry, there's no need," and he'd just put the plugs straight on. And I was so afraid as well because I didn't want to do anything because as you know, Guru Maharaj is very particular about cleanliness and etiquette and behavior as well. So this is, fortunately, I took this picture because nobody was there in the temple room, and this is normally this everybody cried in Guru Maharaj. So wonderful opportunity to take this picture of Radha Gokulananda, Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Shishikanatai, while Guru Maharaj is taking, darshan of them. This is one of the shot with all the colorful rhododendrons in the background. And Prahlad, my son, he was also helping and assisting with the event. So Guru Maharaj was very pleased. And now Prahlad has got a job at Netflix helping in the TV production show The Crown, which is a popular TV series about the royal family in London. So this is like a collage of all the shots I took on the day. There's the shots of Bhaktivedanta Man in the middle. Unfortunately, the weather, the sun had just disappeared, but we managed to brighten up the shot. But Guru Maharaj wasn't so keen on taking the shot, or rather shots of himself, but he was doing it discreetly. But this time I said, "Oh, Guru Maharaj, can I take a shot of Bhaktivedanta Man in the background?" And he reluctantly said, "Okay." But of course, he does it just as he knows that it's not for himself, but it will be sort of a memory for all of us. And as we know, Guru Maharaj has touched the hearts of everybody. When you hear Srila Prabhupada's disciples talk about the memories of Srila Prabhupada, even if it's 1 second, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada smiled at me, Srila Prabhupada gave a flower at me. We were so fortunate to have so much association with Guru Maharaj in London. He came so frequently, sometimes 2 or 3 times a year, during Mahashtami time, during Diwali time, New Year's Eve program. One thing that we never had was a long retreat with Guru Maharaj. We did have the Easter Buckland Hall retreat, and that was really wonderful too. But it would have been so nice if we did have an opportunity for a long retreat where all the European devotees could participate as well. He also attended many of the Rath Yatras. This is a London Rath Yatra. He would sing and also dance all the way along the procession, all the way from Marble Arch or Hyde Park, as they started Marble Arch originally, all the way to Piccadilly Circus, down to Trafalgar Square, where the actual program festivities would continue. And they would meet all the devotees there as well, personally, who were attended the Rath Yatra festival. This is a Rath Yatra in Leicester as well, which we attended after the Leicester. Oh, actually, I do tell a lie. There was a retreat in Leicester. I think that was in 2017 with Guru Maharaj. And this is the Leicester Rath Yatra that we attended as part of the retreat as well. This is Guru Maharaj taking the mercy of Lord Jagannath's car wheel, doing the initial ceremonies, rituals with the Mayor of Leicester, and Jubbangananda Prabhu, who organizes the Leicester Rath Yatra. This is a Bhumi Puja ceremony. This is for Krishna Avante School. Guru Maharaj had attended. Navin Krishna Prabhu, who sort of kindly arranged, with the help of so many devotees as well, sort of arranged this program, this Bhumi Puja, which Gauri Prabhu, the temple president, Shridhar Prabhu, Pranabandha Prabhu, devotees attended, with Gadadhar Prabhu and Sridhar Prabhu, the president, the Pujari, hosting the Yatra program. So they actually installed Sheshananta inside the earth and recited mantras, offered auspicious items to the Supreme Lord, and then recited prayers for auspiciousness. This is the actual primary school itself in Cameras Avenue. And you can see how it's blossomed so much. And Navin Krishna Prabhu would obviously take a lot of time and opportunity to speak to Guru Maharaj and many other senior devotees about instructions on how to go about with this project. It's not an easy project at all. There were so many hurdles, so many obstacles, political issues, geographical issues, but yet by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, many of the senior devotees, this actually blossomed, and it's now got about 7, 8 beautiful schools within UK. So many of the children's parents now come regularly to the temple. So slowly, it's expanding in so many wonderful ways. You know, Guru Maharaj would have been so pleased with this. What wonderful offering. This is the installation of Krishna Balaram in Leicester Temple in one of the Krishna Vanta schools there, which Prajumna Prabhu standing with the white dhoti. It's actually arranging with his wife, Nimai. This is the installation of Krishna Balaram. I happened to be on the Leicester retreat as well. So this is a photo taken in 1996. The exact date I can remember. It's 18th of August, 1996, because His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, Guru Maharaj, Srila Swami, Nrsimhananda Prabhu had actually attended for a wedding ceremony with Shampriya. We're very, very honored to have them there as well, you know. Wherever Guru Maharaj went, I always used to love taking pictures of him with different spiritual masters. This is with Srila Maharaj, the Buckland Hall retreat, with Radhanath Swami, Holiness Radhanath Swami, Holiness Satyananda Swami. You know, he had a very close bond with this particular God brothers. And if you're happy for me to share an incident, after helping Guru Maharaj with the Abhay Charan project, and when he was in London, I can't remember the particular year, 2001 or something, 2000. But what had happened, he invited me for lunch prasadam. It was just himself, Yadabar Prabhu and myself. And I said, well, I don't mind, Guru Maharaj. Yes, I'll be happy, you know. So it's just three of us eating prasadam. And then what had happened, unknown to myself, there was a very enthusiastic devotee serving Guru Maharaj. But all of a sudden, I heard Guru Maharaj blasting him. I know it's not nice to say, but there's certain lessons that we have to learn. Guru Maharaj said to him, why are you just serving me? Why are you not serving Yadabar Prabhu as well? Basically, you know, I desire as a spiritual master, we want to serve him, we want to offer him a garland, we want to touch his feet. But Guru Maharaj was so particular, so particular about how we treat his God brothers. He said, just treat my God brothers just the way like you treat me. And those kind of instructions really touches you because, you know, we always have a favorite personality. And this is like an instruction to say that he shouldn't think of any of his God brothers or God sisters any less of him, less or more than himself, you know. So what had happened, this particular enthusiastic devotee was serving Guru Maharaj all the preparations first and then you had about afterwards. But he said, no, you should serve him as well at the same time. Whether it's offering water, fruit, dessert, you should serve him at the same time. The poor devotee, he was really distraught and I could see him all alone in the garden afterwards, but I didn't know what to say to him after that, you know. But Guru Maharaj's instructions is very valuable. The blasting is also his mercy, so we have to take care. Jayadvaita Maharaj is such an amazing personality. You know, he came to stay at our house for a few days. I thought it'd be very strict and serious, but he was so amazingly down to earth, and he had so many wonderful memories of Guru Maharaj that he had shared with us. In particular, in New York, I don't know if you've been to New York. There's a beautiful temple there in Brooklyn, and it was going to be closed down by some unfortunate temple management. And from past history, many wonderful temples had already been sold off for personal reasons. Like they had a beautiful temple in a skyscraper in New York, which got sold off, and it was such a big mistake. So Guru Maharaj was very, very, very instrumental in keeping the temple open in Brooklyn. It was like 7 stories high, a wonderful location, but they wanted to sell it so they could get the money for developing a place somewhere nearer to the city of Manhattan. But Guru Maharaj had his reasons, Jayadvaita Maharaj had his reasons, GBC had his reasons, and then they fought the case. They went to a court case. Eventually, they won through technical religious issues. So the temple was saved, and luckily we were fortunate to have this beautiful temple of Radha Govinda. So if you do go to New York, please do go to the Brooklyn Temple, New York, where the devotees will take care of you, and you can take darshan of Radha Govinda. Satyananda Maharaj. This is a Rath Yatra festival in Cologne in Germany. Sorry. This is Gyanananda Maharaj, a wonderful Srila Prabhupada disciple as well. That's the Rath Yatra. And this is our wonderful friend, you know, and mentor, spiritual leader as well as Sri Dhamma Prabhu, who was very instrumental. and also kept us connected to our spiritual services within Bhaktivedanta Manor, within the UK in so many ways. We do miss him sorely so much, but please, do keep a prayer for him as well. Here he is in the initiation ceremony with His Holiness Radha Swami and Guru Maharaj. This is my initiation ceremony in 2003. It was such a wonderful experience, although, as I mentioned earlier, I was reluctant to accept another third spiritual master, but Guru Maharaj's mercy when he sort of paid his respects to me, which I'm nobody in Durban in 1995, really touched my heart, and I wanted to know more about him. And actually, the more I found out about him, I realized that everything Guru Maharaj was saying was everything related to Srila Prabhupada. Every single class of him was his instructions about Srila Prabhupada. There was nothing about his service. Even a simple example in the 2020, when the last time we had an interaction with Guru Maharaj during the lockdown, I sort of was in touch with him to ask him if he could actually do a talk, a seminar on Zoom, or we had a WebEx at that time for the devotees in the UK. But Guru Maharaj was so busy for 7 or so Zoom sessions a day. We didn't know about that because we only see the ones in the UK. So we only had the japa, sort of a regular japa ones or the morning ones in Ujjain, but he was doing separate ones for, I think it was Singapore, separate ones for America, separate ones for Australia. So practically the last few months, unfortunately, before Guru Maharaj passed away, was doing 6 or 7 Zoom presentations every day. So I asked him, I didn't know that, I asked him if he could do a presentation for us, for the UK devotees, and Guru Maharaj, happily obliged. And I was very cheeky. I said it'll be 1, but later on in my email, I asked him to do 3. So it was on consecutive days, one on teachings of Queen Kunti, one was on passing of Lord Bhishma Dev, one was on passing of the story of story of Ajamil. And he actually obliged to all 3 of them. And many of you still remember attending those seminars with Guru Maharaj. We had an opportunity to see him, although not personally, but through the technology of the software of WebEx. So Guru Maharaj was explaining all the different stories of those 3 personalities. And later on, it was a free session, but we managed to collect a donation of 1,000 plus amount of money. So Secretary Prabhu sent an email to Guru Maharaj saying, look, Guru Maharaj, we've raised £1,500. How shall we transfer it to you? But Guru Maharaj said, no, I didn't ask for any money. Just give it to the devotees of Bhaktivedanta Manor. And that was his mood. There was no any Lakshmi he collected even from initiation. Sorry, that picture's been there too long. That picture was collected from initiation. He would just give it to Bhaktivedanta Manor or the local temple that he was serving at that time when the initiation was taking place. Once again, Guru Maharaj was so fond of having shots of children. So I was always cheeky to ask him, well, can I take a shot with my son Prahlad? This one with Radhika and Prahlad. So I just wanted to find out how much time I have, because obviously I don't want to take too much of our time, but this is the last few shots. Gaurahari, is it all right to carry on, or Gaurahari Goswami?
Yeah. Krishna, so,
yeah. Okay.
Carry on, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So this is the Divine Pilgrimage of 2018. This is the most amazing retreat that we had. It was a retreat where Guru Maharaj had organized, 1 week in Vrindavan, 1 week in Jagannath Puri, 1 week in Mayapur. And the email had come, although the email had come, it was, of course, we have to judge it by our own sort of financial needs. It was quite expensive, £2,000. Guru Maharaj was going to spend 10 days with us over a 21-day period of retreat. So at that time, I was sort of trying to raise a bit of funds. And then I got an email to say it was cancelled. And then many devotees had already booked their tickets to go to India for this retreat. So the next time around, there was an email to go around to say that it had been reduced. And straight away, I just booked it. And myself and my wife had decided to go on the retreat. Although Guru Maharaj would only spend 10 days with us, But it just so happened Guru Maharaj was spent 21 days with us. You know, every single day he would be in Jagannath Puri, he'd be there in Vrindavan with us, he'd be there with us in Maipur. And we had the wonderful personalities like Dina Bandha Prabhu taking us on different locations in Vrindavan. This is in Vrindavan, in one of the temples there that he took us, I think it's near Vashana. And he was explaining about the Leelas and pastimes. And of course, there was about over 150 devotees from about 30 different nations around the world, from Australia, from Fiji, from UK, America, New Zealand, Europe, India, of course. So many wonderful devotees had made an effort to come to this memory of a lifetime, opportunity of a lifetime. We were so fortunate we had a chance to meet so many wonderful devotees. Every morning, once again, there was a morning program. If it wasn't within the ISKCON temple, it'd hire a hall where we could all come and participate in the morning program, the lunchtime program, and evening program. And wherever location that we went to, in this case, Sri Radha Raman Prabhu, or Sri Radha Raman Maharaj, he would actually give a talk on this is Terra Kadamba. He'd talk about the pastimes and Leela of Krishna and Radharani and the cowboys and cowgirls here. And then again, Guru Maharaj would explain even further in many details about the holy places that we went to visit. So although Guru Maharaj wasn't there personally present with us in these holy places, he would come and talk about these particular places. And it was so nice. It felt like if Guru Maharaj was there. This is in Radhakund. We had such a wonderful time. We got there early in the morning, I think it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And then we went on a nice pilgrimage in around Govardhan, Parikram. And those beautiful memories we had with all the devotees, people of different personalities, and got to know them from different places around the world. South Africa, we still keep in touch with many of them. This is Kusum Kasturova, Sri Radharaman Maharaj. He's there in the background giving a talk with all the devotees there. I took this opportunity to wander around, take some pictures of the bridge passes there, cows of Vrindavan. This is Sri Madan Mohan temple. Once again, we had another devotee taking us around the different places. This has happened only by the mercy of Spiritual Master, Yasha Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada, Yasha Prasada Nagati Dopi. By the grace of the Spiritual Master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the mercy of the Spiritual Master, we cannot make spiritual advancement. This is so important that we have to ask for the grace of the Spiritual Master to actually delve deeper into the pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. Sometimes when you go to the temples, we get bugged by the weather, by the sun, by the heat, by the bugs, by different people coming up and begging money of you. But sometimes you have to be so focused not to offend anybody in the Brijbasi, Vrindavan, that you could commit an offense. By surrendering unto the Spiritual Master, by surrendering to Srila Prabhupada, you can understand the beautiful pastimes and leelas and enjoy the magnificent temples there. This is Radha Govinda temple. This is the Yatra team. A few devotees from the UK came. Gaura Hari Prabhu and his family were there as well. Sapishba says, so wonderful devotees, they may have absolutely nothing, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions, beg your pardon, Srila Prabhupada mentions that, all of you are spending so much money to come to Vrindavan. What is a few coins? You should give, a few coins to the Brijbasis, give something to eat to the Brijbasis. Thereby you get purified in your spiritual life. This is Shri Gauritai at the Krishna Balar Mandir. The beautiful Lordship, Shri Krishna Balar Mandir, Shri Radha Shabasunda. Sorry, I went a bit too fast there. Shri Radha Shabasunda. Then, of course, Guru Maharaj would also participate in the morning programs. He'd come there for the morning Mangalati, for Guru Puja. He'd also give classes in the morning, so everybody had an opportunity to attend the class. It wasn't just for the devotees in the retreat. Here it's in Krishna Balar Mandir, giving the morning program. And also, Guru Maharaj would travel with us in the internal flights. Everywhere we went, Guru Maharaj's presence was there, and he'd always be asking about our needs. How are we? Are we enjoying ourselves? And he didn't just say it just for the sake of it, but he really meant it. And I'll explain the reason why later on. This is a wonderful devotee, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, with many devotees of our Hare Krishna Prabhu, who organized the retreat from the India side. We went to Bhubaneswara temple as well. These are the hotels that we stayed. It was like very good accommodation. You know, sometimes when you go on yatra, Guru Maharaj wanted to make it a point that we stayed in good accommodation, because the reason being, we feel, a bit of I suppose, Western comfort that we're so used to living in the Western world, that we didn't feel that, oh, hang on a minute, why if they're just giving us like a shack hut, to stay on? I know we're supposed to be very, very nice, but, there was a facility for all of us, lovely prasadam and shared. So what had happened was, on one occasion in Jagannath Puri, they actually organized some accommodation. It wasn't Guru Maharaj or his disciples who arranged it, but some devotees, because they were relatively looking at what they sort of require. But the accommodation wasn't first class at all, and everybody complained, and they started making their own accommodation elsewhere. When Guru Maharaj found out, he was so unhappy. He was so unhappy, and he spent the whole evening looking for accommodation elsewhere for the facilities. So for all the 150 devotees who participated in the yatra, that's how concerned he was. He was so upset that even Krishna Kishore Prabhu, his personal assistant, said that he was too afraid to ask any questions to Guru Maharaj, because he was really angry to say that why was accommodation not arranged nicely for all the devotees. That was his concern. Concern wasn't for himself. His concern was for his devotees, to ensure that they were happy with the accommodation, with the facilities that were provided, with the prasadam. Once again, here in Bhubaneswara, we had a wonderful initiation ceremony. As you can see, when we have initiation in UK, we have about 20 devotees, but here, hundreds and hundreds of devotees get initiated from all sort of Indian origins, from parts of the world participated as well. Some of them couldn't speak English at all, so but Guru Maharaj was so merciful. He's taken that burden. When we say, oh, I accept this particular Guru as my spiritual master, but no, it's actually the other way around. As Guru Maharaj accepted you as a disciple, are you qualified? One of the things I remembered when I got initiated in 2003, I sent an email to Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for allowing me to be my spiritual master. And also he replied so nicely. He said, now you've taken up Krishna consciousness, now you've taken up spiritual practice, take Krishna consciousness very seriously. Chant your 16 rounds regularly, follow the 4 regulated principles. And the one thing that always came to my mind was the last sentence, and I tried to memorize this every single day or read it every day after I got initiated. If there's anything that you need, please do not hesitate to contact me. So if there's anything that you need, please do not hesitate to contact me. And that's how Guru Maharaj was. He was so busy. Every time I sent him an email, not very frequently, he'd always reply. Many times you send emails even to your own friends or other people, other devotees, management. They don't bother replying. Have you read my email? Oh, too many emails. Which one was it? Can you send it again? But Guru Maharaj, 100%, he's replied to every single email of mine. And that really touched me, so much. This is in Bhubaneswara. Beg your pardon, Jagannath Puri. Such a beautiful weather. Guru Maharaj was talking about the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. In Jagannath Puri, we had a chance to take darshan. We happened to go on a day when there was a Snan Yatra. So we had the opportunity to stay till midnight. It was a simple bathing ceremony. This is the temple in Allahabad, I think it is, near Jagannath Puri. This is the place where Lord Chaitanya, when he fell down in ecstasy, he melted the stone, and you can see the imprints of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body melted into the stone itself. Such a beautiful place to visit if you haven't had a chance. This is the local temple devotees of that particular place. They invited Guru Maharaj to come. Guru Maharaj took darshan of their lordships here. And then he gave a wonderful class to everybody who participated about the pastimes for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath Puri. They were really beautiful pastimes, really wonderful. These are actually been recorded, and I believe it's on the YouTube channel of Guru Maharaj's YouTube channel. This is another initiation ceremony taking place in Tota Gopinath Mandir. Once again, many devotees participated in the initiation ceremony. At one time, I don't have the picture here, I took it off, but there was a monkey that kept on coming down and stealing the bananas and fruits from the yagya and running up the pole. And everybody started laughing, and then Guru Maharaj was saying, "What's the matter with all of you? Have you become monkey conscious?" So of course he's trying to say, let the monkey do what he wants to do. You just concentrate on the class itself. This is the yagya, beautifully arranged yagya by the Purohit. Guru Maharaj would always end the class with a lovely kirtan at the end. And of course, those who remember, he would organize every day when we were in Jagannath Puri for 1 week, arranged for, the Mahaprasad from Lord Jagannath. They would arrive in carts, in big, big pots, and all the devotees were so mesmerized, eating on banana leaves traditionally, having all the Jagannath Prasadam every single day. It was so nice. This is in Mayapur, where we stayed there for the last week. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Oh, one thing I forgot to remember. Wherever we went, to whatever temple we visited in those 3 weeks, we were greeted by garlands, we were greeted by sandalwood paste, we were greeted by incense oils offered to their lordships, kirtans, prasadam. It was almost like they treated you like a sannyasi, and this is only possible by Guru Maharaj's, etiquette, how he wanted us to be, taken care of so nicely. It wasn't that he wants something out of us, but here you're in the holy Dham. Let me give this opportunity to serve you. We're supposed to be serving the spiritual master, but just like Krishna is serving us by providing us all the facilities that we have in our lives, Guru Maharaj was always facilitating for us, always serving us. There was never a time when he asked us to serve him, never a time when he asked for donations, never a time to ask us for his projects. The whole 3-week retreat was actually just serving, or rather being mesmerized in the beautiful pastimes of Lord Jagannath, Subhadra Baladev, Shri Radha Krishna, and Vrindavan, and of course Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu in Mayapur. Here we were given a tour around the Gurukul within Mayapur. And during the evenings, Guru Maharaj would actually end with a beautiful program where everybody participated for kirtans, classes, people's devotees' realizations. And this was really well attended by all the devotees. Not only the devotees from the retreat participated, but also the resident devotees, visiting devotees. So many devotees were welcome. Guru Maharaj never barred anybody, everybody joined in. This is, of course, beautiful Shri Radha Madhava and Ashtashakis, Lord Nishingadev, Shri Panchtattva Ki Jai. Whenever there's an opportunity, I always have my camera with me and take a snapshot. My only regret was in, I can't remember the year, when Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and Guru Maharaj had come to Bhaktivedanta Manor, and he gave the most beautiful talk. Of course, a lot of it's all recorded in the Ocean of Mercy, but when you see it personally, Guru Maharaj was talking about the last final stages of Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, how he arranged the facility for Srila Prabhupada with Tamal Krishna Maharaj and all the senior devotees, the issue with Srila Prabhupada's health, the medication that Prabhupada had refused to take, the prasadam that Prabhupada refused to take. Guru Maharaj was explaining so much in detail, and I didn't have my video camera that day, otherwise I would have recorded it. And because sometimes when you imagine something, you have this projection in your mind, like a screen that you see. So when Guru Maharaj was explaining everything, it just felt like the pastime dramatization was taking place right next to him. And you felt as if you were actually there, the way he was explaining everything so nicely. And as you know, the last talk that Guru Maharaj had done on Zoom with the Padmasena was his last memories of Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, sorry, keep saying Guru Maharaj, of Srila Prabhupada. You know, his feelings, his opportunity to serve Srila Prabhupada. And you could see tears flowing from his eyes, and they're almost like Srila Prabhupada calling him, you know, you're ready to come with me. And it's just so sad to see him go. Sorry. It's so sad to see him go. And for many weeks, I couldn't understand, you know, why did this happen? Why did he leave? Sorry.
That's okay, Krishna. Thank you for sharing some wonderful pictures. I just sat here mesmerized. Actually, it's you know, traveling through time, and these pictures, they're so powerful. You know, the stories behind them, which you kind of, you know, brought out from each picture. So, you know, thank you very much for bringing that all to life. And we can, yeah, share and recount all those memories with you. And it's wonderful service. And, you know, you obviously have a wonderful skill and talent. You know, the man behind the camera. It's the pictures that paint 1,000 words. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
No. It's our pleasure. I wanted to sort of also give the opportunity to the devotees here with us today, and if they have any questions, please put your hand up, or, you know, take yourself off mute and please ask.
Hare Krishna, I have no questions, but just
comments even.
relishing the beautiful memories, just absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for coming through. You've captured so much. You've actually captured what I was going to say, but yeah, just, you know, these are the things that we can hold to our heart, you know. So thank you so much. We need to share these, actually, you know, maybe in spiritual connections. It's just so beautiful. The pictures, so lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Krishna Govinda Prabhu, like many, I suppose, well, maybe not like many, actually. He was in quite a privileged position. He always had his camera with him, and he took that sort of opportunity. He wasn't shy to take the opportunity to click away. And now we can, you know, share and all benefit from that, actually. So yeah, thank you very much, Krishna Govinda. Certainly, one of the things you mentioned earlier on, you mentioned, yeah, children, and I think Guru Maharaj would sort of encourage children, and as they grew older, in fact, right, to spend some time in the temple, right? And I was never able to do that. I joined a lot later, and I think, but I did have I was very fortunate to be able to spend 1 year traveling with Guru Maharaj. And so, you know, I would encourage any, you know, the youth, 18, 20, etc., if you're that age, early adult, spend a year in the temple. It is so transformative. And I think Bhaktivedanta Mana is doing a sort of be a monk challenge at the moment, and, you know, get the opportunity to sort of stay in a temple in the ashram, and it really does, you know, supercharge your spiritual life, if I can put it like that. And I know, you know, Guru Maharaj often encourage young adults to do that, and also Shiva Maharaj was, you know, also very much in favor of that young adults spend some time at least in the movement, because, you know, we all end up getting a job and having a career and children, etc., and family life. Kind of the danger is it sort of takes over. But at least if we can spend some, you know, quality time in the temple, in the association of other devotees, that's always a wonderful and transformative experience.
Yeah, Thank you. There was just one point I forgot to mention. I know you said had the opportunity to take pictures of Guru Maharaj. One time he did phone me up. He wanted me to take some videos for preparation for Janmashtami Janmashtami celebration at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And what had happened, I took some videos and I showed it to Guru Maharaj, but Guru Maharaj was showing this, I suppose he was displeased because he wasn't seeing the footage that he wanted to see and portray for his Janmashtami video presentation. And he said, "You've got this angle wrong and you've got this not right, and why did you?" So what happened was, I have to admit, I'm not a professional. I just enjoyed taking photography and videoing. And since, well, I don't tell this to anybody, but there's only 18 of us on this group chat, so just keep it to yourself. The first pictures I took was of Srila Prabhupada in 1977. That was with a 110 camera. You probably remember the 110 cameras. So from then, I really enjoyed taking photographs. But anyway, I felt hurt that I didn't please my Guru Maharaj. But the next morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a phone ringing, and I said, "When there's a phone ringing, that must be serious." So I quickly went downstairs. I picked up the phone, and lo and behold, Hare Krishna, this is Bhakti Charu Swami. When he speaks so beautifully. When he recites, it's just amazing. But he said, "Oh, Krishna Govinda, I just wanted to apologize." And I said, apologize for what? And he explained that, you did a wonderful job. There's some things I may have not said to you. And I just almost like tears came into my eyes. "Oh, Guru Maharaj, you don't have to apologize. We have to serve you first class. We have to serve you." I can't remember the exact words, but I do remember saying that, please don't apologize, And he was so nice that he phoned out of concern because he may have thought he hurt my feelings, although I was hurt, but in a different way. Not, "Oh, why is he telling me off? Why is, It was more like I didn't do my job properly. But in any case, he said, "Are you coming to Buckland Halls later on?" And I said, "Yes." Then yes, we will do some more videos later on. And we did some wonderful video shootings. And if you remember Croatia, such a beautiful place. We had an island and we'd nowhere to escape. So we had such a wonderful memory of doing so many videos with Guru Maharaj for TV production shows in India when he spoke in Bengali and so forth. So that thought just came to my mind. I just remembered. So I really appreciate you allowing me to speak. I normally don't enjoy Zoom programs, but I have had to have a bit of confidence because now at work we have to be on MS Teams all the time.
Oh yes, indeed. So yeah, it's a skill we've had to all learn to some degree or other.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. If there are no other questions from devotees, I will maybe draw a close. And once again, thank you to Krishna Govinda Prabhu for extending his mercy and sharing all those wonderful pastimes and pictures. We were able to relive a lot of those moments with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think it's so important, just lastly, there was one particular time in Gauri, I know his time is, but this is so important because there was one time in the UK, Guru Maharaj had actually called all his disciples in. And it's something that we shouldn't really broadcast so much externally, but he did show a he was upset rather. He was upset that the disciples weren't making an effort to come to his morning classes. They weren't making an effort to come and see him. They weren't making an effort to take advantage while he was there. If you can imagine, Guru Maharaj had been traveling from India, America to the UK. Most of us are jet lagged. Most of us are tired. Most of us just want to crash out or sleep. But Guru Maharaj, as soon as it landed, he'd be visited by hundreds of people at the airport. Then probably people at the home as they stay, then come to the program in the evening but he was saying that, I'm not doing it for your benefit. I'm not coming here just for your benefit. It's for your own spiritual benefit. My job is to get you back to Srila Prabhupada. And as he mentions many times that Srila Prabhupada told him, many lifetimes you've gone through, why not spend this one lifetime to Krishna? And he would mention that to us as well. Just spend this one lifetime to Krishna, just serve Krishna 100%. And whatever you do for Krishna, serve it 100%. Even one time I do recall where a person had come to see him, and Guru Maharaj sort of jokingly laughed, "Oh, you're too busy to come and see me, and now you come to see me because you want something." So he had a sense of humor, but at the same time, he was a human being from a external point of view, and he had feelings, emotions, and it's like a son not coming to see his father. The father would feel hurt. So we have to take this opportunity to carry on with this legacy, you know. And this memorial program is a good way of showing our memories of Guru Maharaj, Vyasa Puja, Tirabhava Festival, assisting with the Ujjain and Dilan projects and any projects, and also the Spiritual Connections magazines that you, Janavamati, are so much involved in, Govinda Prabhu. So sorry, just wanted to say that last portion. So please, please, please remember Guru Maharaj is still with us every second of our lives.
No, thank you for reinforcing that message. So thank you very much. It's important not to forget these things. And I also want to thank Charan Kanti Krishna Prabhu for providing the sort of support and hosting these remembrance sessions. Because without, you know, a Jain team, you know, none of this would really be possible. So thank you.
You are coordinating so nicely.
No.
Thank you so much.
I'm not so tolerant with these things. But thank you. And I look forward to all your association again next week with our next speaker, which I'll keep a surprise for the time being. And please, again, once again, get my obeisances.